Where am I? Who are you?
Our vision for Season 1 was very much that Season 1 would act as a prologue for what was going to be a story writ on a larger canvas, and that in many ways Season 1 would be an introduction to our team and an introduction to the problem that they and the world are facing. And now in Season 2 we want to start to actively deal with that problem. We, as writers and producers, knew things about the world of our characters that we were talking about all the time, but that we were still playing close to our audience. For instance, the fact that Peter Bishop apparently died when he was 7 years old. We always talked about that, and there were clues and hints throughout in the series, dating all the way back to the pilot.
I'd like to check your blood pressure.
Why don't you check your own blood pressure? Mine's fine, thanks.
But we made the decision that it's time to share that with the audience. We also decided it was time to actively go to the alternate reality and see that, in fact, William Bell has the capacity to cross over to the other side. That is, assuming that that's the one and only William Bell, and that there isn't another one on the other side as well. From the pilot on, William Bell has been talked about and sort of built up as a character without us ever seeing him or meeting him. We decided very early on that by the end of the season, Olivia would have her first face-to-face with William Bell, and over the course of the season, she learned that he played a much more active role in her life than she had ever imagined, via the cortexiphan trials that he did to her as a child. The idea that the only way she could meet him was actually to cross over, and in some ways that the gift, the ability he gave her as a child was the thing that enabled them to meet at all, sort of has a troubling symmetry to it. In his own mind, Mussolini was a good guy. So in his mind, William Bell is absolutely a good guy. Similarly, in Walter Bishop's mind, he's a good guy. Whether or not either of them is right, is a morally relativistic question that I'm not sure we can be the judges of. I think what's interesting about Walter is that through his insanity, he's gained humanity. As a younger man, he didn't really engage with people. He saw them as things to be experimented upon. He never really engaged with his son. But now, having gone through such a dark phase of his life, he's actually come through the other side with more of his humanity intact. So I'm not sure if Walter were given the choice of going back to who Walter used to be, he would even take that. We treat the observers as maybe not necessarily from either of these two realities. They may be from a whole different dimension. In episode 4, when the observer is on the phone, he's talking to somebody from his reality, from his universe, somebody who he reports back to.
It has arrived.
In our minds, we're the good guys, of course. I think in our minds, we're all the good guy. Good and bad has sort of a yin and yang relationship, and it changes at times. We may have caused the problem, but if we're trying to cure it, then I imagine we're the good guys.